Hey, welcome America Outdoors. I'm gonna be taking you guys through how to change out a water heater. Came home last night, my 8-year-old daughter, she was mad. She took a shower and didn't have any hot water. Joke's on her, but she lives in a house with 3 females. She was mad because her little sister took a bath and used all the hot water. Didn't pay any attention to it until my wife came out later on in the night and she was pissed because she didn't have hot water. So I came out to the hot water heater, started investigating a little bit, and I noticed that my pilot light won't stay lit. So I worked at it. I got the flame to go and the flame would go out. So here's what I discovered. I discovered some water down in the bottom, and then through my pilot light it wasn't staying lit. So I did a little bit of research and I realized it's not too much money to replace this thing. So went to Home Depot where I live. My new water heater, it's about $700 and about $350 worth of rebates through the gas company. So what I'm gonna do, kind of walk you through it here, and then we'll get after it. So we're gonna drain the water. Actually, first things, you want to find your water inlet and secure the water coming in. Leave the water off with your pressure regulator, your relief valve. And then we're gonna come down here and we're gonna drain the tank. You should drain the tank yearly to get rid of a bunch of crud. As you can see, mine's all rusted out. We're gonna hook a hose up to it, open up this, bleed all the water out. Come over here, we're gonna secure the gas to coming in. And then, yeah, it's pretty simple. We're gonna take the gas line off, get a propane torch out, or the torch, and unsolder these joints. Right over here, and over there. And then everything should come out. We're gonna unscrew our vent cap, take stuff out. So I got a 2-gallon, it's like a pressure tank for it to prevent thermal hammering for your water heater. So anything less than a 50-gallon tank, and that's what this is, requires a 2-gallon pressure tank for it. So should be fairly easy. When we're done, we'll come back through and we'll check all the joints. We'll throw a soapy solution on it, look for any bubbles, and if we don't see any bubbles, then we don't have any gas leaks. Then we'll go fire it on, bleed out the pressure, the air pressure, as we turn on the water, and go from there. Alright, like I said earlier, we're going to drain the water and hook up a garden hose that goes outside. Alright, we're going to disconnect the gas line. Before you do this, you should bleed it out, if you can, through the burner. Anyways, after you take apart the joints, you want to take your 120 sandpaper, clean the joints up a little bit. Alright, once you get it cleaned up, you're going to put some of your flux on here. And what that's going to do, once it heats up, that's going to drive the impurities out of your copper. And going to make the solder flow a lot better. And you'll have just a clean joint when you're done. Alright, I got my valve on there. I'm going to hit it from one side. I'm going to get nice and hot. We'll let that thing cool down, and then we'll turn on the water and see if we have any leaks. Alright, so let's recap a little bit. Remember, we came down here, I hooked up the hose, drained the water, disconnected our natural gas feed. Obviously, before you do that, you want to make sure your valve's secured. Then up on top, I raised my, my vent pipe up. I took off my water that I just did coming in with the valve, and it comes into the top, and then out this one, remember, I took off going to that other guy, and that's our hot water into the house. The only thing I got left to do, which I haven't messed with yet, is to get this PEX pipe off our pressure relief valve. Well, as you can see, I got the new hot water heater in. I got some pipes fabbed up, pre-cut, ready to solder in. I got my little workspace down here, a bunch of junk. But we're getting everything fabbed up. We're going to start soldering in. And here, hopefully within an hour or so, we should be able to have some hot water. Alright, I got all this pipe hooked up. I'm going to wait for it to cool down a little bit. The solder set in. Turn it on and look for some leaks. Our workbench is a little dirty, but here we go. We got some pipe sealant. It's good for natural gas. It's good on everything. Plastic, metal, whatnot. So, anyways, we put enough on our little fitting. We're coming down into the side of our control panel. Right there. This is our natural gas feed. So we want to put a good amount of pipe dope on it. And make sure it's good and tight. There we go. Now we got to do the same thing for this side. There we go. And that's on there. So give me a minute. I'm going to go get some soapy water and we're going to do what we call a soap and blow. We'll spray soapy water on here. We'll turn the gas valve on, the blue valve back there. And if we have a leak, that soapy water will create bubbles telling us where the leak's at. Then give it a good spray down. Got it pretty good. Wipe this off. Now we're going to turn on our gas valve and look for bubbles and also smell for rotten eggs. Looks like we're good. We're going to pull off this cover and pull the insulation back a little bit, get a look at our window and start the pilot light and turn this bad boy on. All right, like most hot water heaters, here's your directions. Essentially what you're gonna do, you're gonna make sure your valve's turned off. You're gonna remove your outer door that we did, locate the window right here. And then we're gonna turn it to pilot. And when you go to pilot, you gotta push in. See how it goes in? As it goes in, we're gonna hit this button a few times. And we're watching the status light start blinking. This will take a little bit the first time because we got to purge the air out of there. Alright, I just saw the pilot light. Let's see if I can't get you down in there to see it. Alright, there's the pilot light. You got to hold it a little bit, give it time to heat up the thermocouple. I got the status light. It's blinking, blue right here. So we're good. Let off the pilot light button. You can see the flame still going. And you're going to come back here and turn it to your desired temperature. And we're going to go with B. And yeah, you can look in there and see the flames and all that going. So now we're gonna put our insulation back up here, put our access door on, give it a little bit to heat up this water and give it a shot. Alright guys, here's a breakdown of all the tools that we used on this project, or we will be using on this project. Obviously we got a torch, we got some flux, and we got some solder for soldering up the copper pipes. We got some vice grips to take our fittings on and off, some crescent wrenches, some screwdrivers, obviously a lighter for our torch. We got some pipe dope. This is for our gas line to make sure it doesn't leak. We got a spray bottle of soapy water, and we spray that on our gas line after we tighten it up, make sure it doesn't leak. All right, well, if you've never seen a pipe cutter, here it is. Sorry it's upside down. That's how the camera falls, but you kind of open this up, put it around your pipe, and then you tighten it down, and get it snug. Then all you're gonna do is rotate it around. Give it a quarter turn or half turn and rotate it. And that cutting wheel, I'm not sure if you can see it right there, is doing the cutting. You can kind of see how it's cutting a little bit. There you go. Just keep turning it down, and then it will eventually cut off.